Wait, are you saying that you don't think it's going to work in Chicago with Bedard? Let's step it up a notch.
Okay.
If we were to jump now from, say, the OHL to the NHL,
Yeah. Ooh.
who is getting the first overall pick, Noah Harney?
You know what? I gotta go for my buddy Noah Whalen, big Chicago Blackhawks fan. Chicago Blackhawks. I think you guys might be impressed, but there might be a lot of fans at me because it looks like San Jose could have that first spot as well.
Oh. So I have a question for you. What did they do with Bedard? Where did he go?
He's still in the Hawks.
What? He's still in the
He's
Hawks.
still in the Hawks, but could we see?
What's happening? Are the refs getting to him?
Oh,
Or is he getting 10-minute major penalties and
seems
getting
like every
thrown in the box?
Chicago Blackhawk fans, you will not be impressed to hear me say this, but I think we might see a potential Bedard trade in the future. Could we see that happen?
Wait, are you saying that you don't think it's going to work in
I
Chicago
don't
with Bedard?
know, not a chance.
So what do you see? Where could he go? It's no longer where's Waldo. It's
Mm.
find Bedard a home.
I think he might go to a Western Conference
Canadian team?
Canadian
Oh,
team.
well.
Canadian team.
I know where a perfect fit would be for this guy.
Where would it be?
I could just see him in that uniform. He'd be the hometown favorite because he's from that area. The Vancouver Canucks. I could see that. I could
Yes.
see that.
Connor Bedard switching from the red to the blue.
I could definitely see that. I just can't really picture him in like Edmonton. I just can't.
No.
Maybe Calgary, but
Maybe
I think Vancouver.
Vancouver. You see Bedard.
I could see Bedard in Vancouver. He could also end up in Seattle. I could see him end up
See him in
there with the
Seattle.
Kraken.
The Kraken
Bedard and the Kraken.
joining Shane Wright, who almost went first overall,
Yes, Shane Wright.
but ended up getting Sokowski for Montreal.
Yes, of course. Did he work out? How has he worked out?
Very
I
well.
thought he's been doing very well as
He's
well,
doing
but
great.
some people say they weren't sure at that first pick, but I thought he's been doing good.
There's some really big trade breaking news that happened last month, wasn't there?
Yes.
There were a lot of trades, by the way. Like I have an entire list of all the players. I still need to update my NHL 25.
I want to comment on one trade that it was a good trade, but it was a bad trade. It was arguably maybe the biggest trade of the whole trade deadline, and I don't know how they did it. If I'm a Boston Bruins fan, I am pissed off. They got nothing
They got nothing
for
for
Brad Marchand.
no,
Like everything considered, they got nothing.
to the Florida Panthers
And
and
he
other
went
teams.
to the Florida Panthers, which is great because I do think that he's only going to bolster them, and
Yes.
I do think that they're going to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. That aside, though, if you're the Boston Bruins, you're trading your captain, who you know is going to go to any other team and make an impact,
Mhm.
who you know other teams were calling and offering. How do they get what they got for him? They got,
They got
like nothing.
Nothing in return.
Nothing in return.
Mhm.
Sorry, but I'm not trading my captain, who may be one of the best players on my team, who's definitely going to go and make a playoff impact in the playoffs,
Yes.
to get nothing. And this is the team who likely will repeat as Stanley Cup
Oh,
champions.
absolutely. If I had to see two teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs, as I would hope it would be the Oilers, but I think we might see a Florida Dallas final.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, look at what they got. Look at what happened with Rantanen.
Yes.
A lot got given up to get Rantanen.
Mhm.
And then Marchand, arguably the biggest guy in the East that got traded. Maybe the Rantanen trade was a little bigger, but either way, Florida got him at a steal, a literal steal. They robbed the bank.
And
And
you know who I would probably see someone not going. Obviously, he was close to going to this team, but he could probably end up there maybe in the near future or Carolina. Mitch Marner.
so that was interesting. I think Mitch kind of sets his own destiny in a sense because he has that no move contract. You know how it is, right, right. And I think Mitch sometimes doesn't get a fair shake in Toronto because we'll see if it doesn't work in the playoffs. I think he might be more talk about, oh, Mitch, are you going elsewhere? But he sets his own destiny because he can say, no, I'm not going. I'm not going. I have
He's
no
not going.
move contract, no move clause in my contract.
Huh? You never know.
You never know. But I don't know. Like, I could see Mitch going to Carolina for Rantanen. That was
Yes,
proposed, but
I can see
it
that.
didn't happen. So then why would Mitch end up in Carolina? What do the Leafs need from Carolina per se
Mm.
that now they have? Because I don't really say they have a lot of pieces that the Leafs need at this moment. Now maybe they
Because
do.
you don't want to end up in again another Brad Marchand scenario where you're not getting anything for him.
Right. Like if I'm getting rid of, no offense, but if I'm getting rid of Mitch Marner, I want some stuff in
Yeah.
return.
Yes,
Like
please.
please and thank
Please and
you.
thank you. Which could ultimately jeopardize Carolina's future if they were to give up a whole bunch of first round draft picks plus a big star. I'm not saying you get rid of Ranton again, but
But I just don't see it. But you never
you
know.
never know.
Because the Leafs are in a win now mode, and
Yes.
it looks as though the Carolina Hurricanes are selling a little bit. Now, maybe they
Yeah.
want hope to win two this year, but I don't see it.
No,
No, they don't have that same caliber that they did.
not even Colorado. I don't think.
The odds will be
They'll be
competitive,
competitive.
but
I don't think they'll be.
I don't think they got it to win it this year. The team that I think is going to surprise a lot of people, and it most people don't even realize how good of a season they had, is the Jets.
Yes,
The
the
Jets are going
Jets.
to be that surprise team.
Mhm.
But
Who
they could,
knows? It might be a Jet Capitals series.
yeah, the Capitals have been
Oh,
really something. Question for you.
yes.
If OV hits his record this year because he's down
Mhm.
to six,
Yes,
does he retire?
absolutely.
Let alone, I don't know if this is going to happen,
Mhm.
and I still think Florida's going to win the cup from the East if anybody's going to win it. If he wins the cup but doesn't hit the record, does he retire?
Ooh.
But if they win the cup, I don't think so.
Nope.
But if he hits the record and they win the cup, I think he
I
retires.
think so. I think it might. We could probably because we're obviously going to see the end of, other stars like Marc-Andre Fleury.
Right, Flurry.
Could we see one more season from Crosby too?
Oh, I think we see two, maybe three more
Oh,
seasons from
okay.
Crosby. I don't think Crosby's done yet. I
Okay.
think the media is reading too much into it. I think Crosby's still got more game left in him. He's still a vital piece, if
He
you
is.
ask me, to any team. I
Mhm.
just feel as though his potential is kind of being wasted a little bit in
Mm.
Pittsburgh right now, just in the sense that Pittsburgh's in a rebuilding phase.
I agree.
I
I can
yeah,
see that.
I tend to agree that he's not going to sign long-term deals
No.
with like Pittsburgh if they resign, but I do see him at least being there another two seasons at
Mm.
least and probably more. Um,
I see. I can
I
see that
think
one.
we'll know if Crosby's going to hang it up if they ever go say, well, we're going to trade Sidney Crosby because they
Mm.
might want to look at sending him to a team
Mm.
who's going to win the cup
Yeah.
and then he might just walk away. So we'll see.
Okay. That's interesting.
I do not see Brad Marchand hanging it up anytime soon.
Nope. I can't
Nope.
see that.
Does he go back to Boston? I don't know.
Ooh.
He could stay in Florida. Florida kind of fits his mojo too. Like
Yeah.
they're aggressive and like so he could stay in Florida.
Because Boston did give up a lot too. They gave up Brandon Carlo to the Leafs.
Yeah, Carlo to the Leafs. Not saying it was a bad move, but I don't like it's good for like the defense, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
It does take a piece out of Boston, that's for
It
sure.
does, yeah, it does. I don't know if it's as good
Mm.
of as a big of a trade as it kind of was hyped up to be a little
Okay.
bit. I mean, yeah, he'll be good. Yes, Boston, I don't think is going to make the playoffs this year. They're in a
Mhm.
sell mode, and clearly they got rid of their captain, and they gave nothing. They got nothing for him, so that was a dumb trade, if you ask me.
That was very.
Now, maybe they got commitment from Brad Marchand that he's coming back in the
Mm.
off season, but
So maybe only for the
sorry
playoffs.
if you trade your captain.
Mm.
Unless you've cut some deal in the background, that usually tells somebody you're like moving in a different direction.
Yeah.
Now, being that they got nothing for him, that led me to believe, well, maybe he said, I'm coming back. Just I
Mm.
want to go see if I can win a cup this year.